WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. The flu continues to plague a number of communities, especially in West Alabama. The Lamar County School District announcing today it will close for the remainder of the week to clean and disinfect classrooms.
This comes after reports of more than 200 students at South Lamar stayed home sick. Our Cash Matlock joins us in the studio with more on how the school is handling the outbreak. Cash?
Well, lots of Lysol, hand sanitizer, and good old-fashioned common sense. That's how the folks at South Lamar say they're taking care of their current virus issue. And the fact that so many students have gone home sick this week is a surprise to school leaders. They say they took extra precautions this year, hoping to avoid this.
We have a number of students that are out with the flu or strep or a combination of both.
South Lamar Assistant Principal Josh Harper says the number of absentees is close to the hundreds.
Roundabout, almost there, yes.
There's also a number of faculty and staff out. It's no surprise that the district has decided to close for the remainder of the week.
It's okay to stay at home. The absences will be excused and the schoolwork can be made up.
The district's lead nurse, Michelle Crowley, says the schools tried to prevent this from becoming an issue earlier in the school year.
In November, we had a company come and we offered flu shots for kids across the county, so that was, we had to get parent permission to do that. So we wanted to be proactive in the flu this year, to try to help decrease the cases.
But Lamar County isn't the only place experiencing an influenza outbreak. This map from the CDC shows which areas have flu activity. The brown color shows areas where flu reports are widespread.
We have antibacterial soap in all the restrooms, hand sanitizer in the hallways. At the end of the day, we're spraying everything down, disinfecting. Our cafeteria workers are disinfecting throughout the day.
And also, we're trying to teach people to keep their hands off the T-zone, which would be your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, because that's what, one of the ways you can spread.
Crowley says if you or your child start to experience flu-like symptoms, get to the doctor quick.
Get in with a healthcare provider, because the sooner you can get in, they can offer some medications that might help lessen the signs and symptoms of the flu and help you kind of feel better.
And if you already have the flu, there's certain guidelines for when it's safe to return to work or school.
Or at least 24 hours fever-free without using any kind of, fever reducers like Tylenol and stuff.
Well, all South Lamar basketball games have also been canceled this week.
Well, you saw the video here and in that story when using cleaning products to try and get rid of germs that might make you sick with the flu. Do you follow all the steps it says on the back of the label? If not, you might want to, because it can actually help keep you from getting sick. Elena Lester is the associate professor for the nursing program at Mississippi University for Women. She says when you skip a few steps while using these products, it causes some germs to stay in place.
I think usually is allowing it time to dry is probably the most step that's missed. Generally, and also soaking the surface, whether it's an aerosol or a wipe, you still generally have to get enough wipes to soak the surface itself and get it a good wet texture on top. Once it's soaked, then you have to let it sit there.
Lester also stresses the importance of washing your hands with soap and water before anything. But if you don't have access to at the moment, an alcohol-based cleaner is also recommended as an alternative.
Well, and I've got this here in the weather department, my handy dandy hand sanitizer on standby here, ready to go all winter long, all germ season long. Our first alert weather forecast for this evening here at Vernon. Let's check it out at Durham's Pharmacy. 50s out there, 58 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. In Louisville, still in the 50s. We're overcast. There are some showers beginning to come on in the Winston County. Some of that could actually be reaching the ground. Most of that probably isn't, but there will be some showers here isolated early this evening, becoming more concentrated later on. 50s now, 40s later tonight, so not as cold. And for your day tomorrow with showers in the forecast, we should be somewhere in the 50s. I'm back with your full forecast coming up.
The fate of the Yalobusha County Sheriff's race now rests in the outcome of an upcoming special election. Mark Fulco and Luther Folson are the candidates on the ballot. A judge ordered this special election to take place for 2 precincts. Circuit Clerk Darrell Burney says the special election was called because 4 absentee ballots were not properly filled out. Roughly 2,200 voters live in those two precincts. Bernie says they'll add the totals from the general and the special election to determine the outcome. Right now, no date has been set for that special election. Governor Tate Reeves said all options are on the table when it comes to dealing with the crisis at Parchman Prison. During his State of the State address, Governor Reeves vowed to close Unit 29 at Parchman Prison after a dozen inmates have died in recent weeks across the state in prisons. The governor says housing inmates at the now closed Walnut Grove Correctional Facility in Leake County may be an option.
I toured Walnut Grove last week. In many ways, it is a better constructed facility than many of the buildings at Parchman. It is a privately owned facility, and therefore we have issues that we have to work through and challenges that we have to face because of that. But there are many advantages at Walnut Grove. There are some disadvantages, and so we've got to weigh those as we make the final decision.
Now, the governor says that some buildings or some buildings, in Unit 29 at Parchman may not be closed. He adds that overhauling and fixing the prison system will be a long process.
Columbus firefighters will soon be riding around the city in a new truck. The Columbus Fire Department recently received a brand new custom-built E1 Quest fire truck. The new rig costs more than $500,000. The FEMA Assistance to Firefighters grant paid for a huge chunk of it, while the state of Mississippi fire insurance rebate paid for the rest of the bill. The engine can pump more than 1,200 gallons per minute, as well as tons of other new features.
That truck right there can be tracked at any time and moved, back up, the gas, the oil, the transmission. If something wrong, it will alert you it will alert me on my phone, whomever we have designated for. It's a state-of-the-art truck that will provide the services, but not only just provide the services to the citizen, but it will let us know of problems, and we won't have to pay a lot of money in trying to get them repaired.
Now, the new vehicle will replace a 25-year-old truck, and it will also be housed at the new Fire Station 4 on Airline Road.
A Baldwin manufacturing plant is adding 90 jobs and expanding its production capacity with a $4 million investment.
WCBI's Allie Martin has more on the company and how the expansion is a sign of a dedicated workforce and strong economy.
Governor Tate Reeves made his first economic development announcement since taking office at Innocor's plant in Baldwin.
The company has been able to invest $4.1 million and will create 90 additional jobs.
Innocor makes memory foam products for the bedding industry, including the popular mattress in a box. The expansion will double Innocor's manufacturing capacity at one of its manufacturing lines. Also, another manufacturing line will be relocated into what was previously used as a distribution center. Baldwin Mayor Michael James says the expansion is great for the area, a sign of a strong economy, and is also an example of teamwork between state and city leaders.
I've been the mayor here since '09, and I can't tell you a project that's took place without that team effort. It takes a team effort every time, and there's people that'll never get recognized that's had part in this, but it takes every one of them to make something like this happen.
The hiring process has already started for the 90 new positions, and the $4 million expansion will mean yet again another production capacity increase for Innocor's Baldwin facility.
If you laid out mattresses end to end, our production in 2018, those mattresses would stretch from Tupelo to Jackson. With the growth and expansion that we put in place, I mean, we're looking at enough mattresses to stretch from Tupelo, Mississippi to Amarillo, Texas.
The expansion will be complete at Innocor by the middle of February. In Baldwin, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
And once the 90 new employees are hired, the company will employ then more than 540 people at the Baldwin plant. A popular lunch and dinner hotspot in Starkville is serving up something new.
But it's not on the menu. Coming up next, we tell you more about the restaurant's exciting new adventure.
watching WCBI News at 6 with Andrea Self and Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. It's been serving up Cajun cuisine in Starkville for more than 40 years. Now a longtime favorite eating spot there is changing hands. The owner of Obie's closed the sale of his restaurant earlier today.
Yeah, our Stephanie Poole sits down with the old and new owner to talk about the past and the future. She joins us now in the studio. Stephanie?
Yes, everyday owner Don O'Bannon would wake up early in the morning and head outdoors and ready to serve hundreds of hungry stomachs. But his routine is going to look a little bit different now as he starts retirement.
I built this place. It started from scratch. It's been a wonderful ride. Just I can't express to you.
In 1976, Don O'Bannon set out to bring New Orleans dining to North Mississippi. He opened up a 55-seat restaurant and called it Obie's.
I started off with 1,200 square feet, white walls, white ceiling, white floor, metal ice cream parlor chairs. Oh, it was horrible. We had to make changes constantly, and we made those changes. And we're so much more proficient now than ever.
For 43 years, O'Bannon worked hard to create a place where residents can order unique style of Cajun food in Starkville and surrounding areas. But now, he says it's time to pass the torch.
I'm a blessed man to have gotten to this point, and I'm ready to hand it off.
O'Bannon sold his ownership of Obie's to Ayer Spencer, and he's no stranger. He says the two go way back in his younger days.
He started talking to us about his interest to retire. We said we're not going to let anybody else get it. This is our baby. We want to take it and run with it. I grew up in this restaurant when I went to school here. You know, Obie's was the staple. You came for roast beef boil was always my go-to.
That's why he chose to buy the business and help keep Don's legacy alive.
When you've got a 43-year track record of success, you're not going to come in and rewrite the book. Coming into, there may be things we do to grow the business, such as we plan on focusing more on our catering operation and doing more of that out of this location.
In the meantime, O'Bannon says it's not goodbye. It's a bittersweet hello to a new beginning.
I'm really looking forward to just taking it easy for a while. I've worked hard all my life.
Don O'Bannon says he'll be using his retirement to spend more time with his grandchildren and family. Spencer has already begun his duties as the restaurant's new owner.
All right, I've eaten a meal or two at Obie's.
Oh, yeah. Some good cookies.
Oh, definitely.
Gosh,
Especially
yeah.
when they would show up here at the studio every so often.
Exactly.
Hint, hint to the new owners.
Yes.
So it sounds like to me.
Food is always appreciated here at the TV station.
Always.
Rain showers will fill back in later on tonight, and that will carry over into tomorrow. Several more opportunities for rain Friday, maybe some early next week. We'll talk about all of this in your full forecast next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Clouds on the increase this afternoon. You can see that with our time lapse from downtown Columbus. Initially, a lot of sunshine. Here come the clouds. They are lowering, they are thickening, and we will have a few showers here later on. We actually have a few showers on radar right now. There's Louisville. We go back to the west here towards Kosciuszko. A little bit of this could be reaching the ground, especially out towards Durant. But in general, limited amounts of moisture for us. There is some rain from about Durant down to the Jackson Metro. Even more so out here in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. And this will be coming our way as we go throughout the course of the night into tomorrow. But earlier today, look at this. Look at all these great kids. I was out to Eastside Elementary School in West Point. Hello. We had a great time. All the kindergartners coming into the auditorium today. We talked about clouds, humidity, storms, hail, all that good stuff. And of course, we had to take the selfie. I always love going out to the schools. Now, one of the questions was, when's it going to snow? Unfortunately, we don't have that in the forecast. We have mild weather now, relatively speaking. Also in the early next week, too, mild air. Now, we do think there could be some colder air coming in for the middle to end of next week. I suspect we won't have any snow or wintry weather issues with the cold weather. We'll, of course, keep watching it. We really have about another month to go of any winter weather potential, and after that, we're just going to be home spring into spring. home free in the spring, rather. Temperatures into the 50s right now. Tonight down into the mid-40s. Not as cold, about 10 degrees warmer tonight versus where we were last night. Scattered showers, lots of clouds. Seasonable temperatures tomorrow into the 50s for highs here across the Twin States. Probably some heavier rain, more so down to our south and southeast during the course of the day tomorrow. Just have your umbrella on standby. We may see a trace to maybe a quarter of an inch of rain, perhaps a little bit more. As we go throughout the evening, and overnight showers becoming more and more likely, so just have the umbrella with you tomorrow morning. There will be some showers around. It looks like a lot of that will wind down during the course of the afternoon, although the clouds will hold tough as we get into our Thursday right here. But overall, we'll have a chance for some moisture tomorrow with system number 1 right here. A bit of a lull for Thursday, and then another little system will zip on through the region. The heaviest rain, again, will stay to our southeast, but we'll throw in a few showers in the forecast here as we close out the work week. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day. We got 50s through Saturday. Wet, dry, and then Sunday still looking great, bright sunshine, 67. Relatively mild Monday and Tuesday, some more rain possible, and then after that there could be some cooler weather. We'll see.
39 to 70.
Hey, that's what we do here in the Deep South.
It is exactly, and we're used to it.
It's always a wild ride.
All right, so listen up. If you missed your favorite soap opera today, no need to worry. We'll be airing today's Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful starting at 1 a.m. Those shows, you know, were interrupted today during a special CBS presentation. You can set your DVRs. Those shows, again, will air late tonight at 1 a.m. Or you can just stay up and watch, because some people are up at that time.
He said he was staying up.
Stand up and watch them. All right, yet another one of the talented Hell State Hoops freshmen receiving weekly honors. More on the SEC's top freshman performer next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Ole Miss men's basketball able to put an end to the 5-game SEC losing streak this past weekend. The Rebels with a big opportunity tonight, taking on its first ranked SEC team. The Rebels putting together its best overall performance on the road in the win over Georgia, shooting 52% from the field while holding the Bulldogs below 40%. Up next is 17th ranked Auburn, a matchup where the Rebels have won 12 of the last 14, including a sweep a season ago. Kermit Davis's team in desperate need of a signature win to get back into the thick of things in the SEC. Tip-off tonight at 8 p.m. Going on right now, talking about a team with a signature, needing a signature win. Mississippi State on the road against Florida. Current score update, Florida leading 27-16 over Mississippi State. Bulldogs down by as much as 14. Scotty Lewis for Florida scoring 10 of the first 12 points of the game. So the Bulldogs, they snapped an 8-game losing streak to the Gators in a thriller last year, but they haven't won in Gainesville in the past 6 tries. We'll have highlights and recap coming up tonight at 10 on WCBI Sports. Mississippi State freshman guard Aaliyah Matharu named the conference's Freshman of the Week for back-to-back double-digit scoring performances and wins against Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. Matharu averaged 12.5 points, 2.5 boards, and 2.5 steals coming off the bench from Mississippi State. Head coach Vic Schaefer says Matharu can be an instant bucket.
She never met a shot she didn't like, and sometimes we have to teach her shot selection and when, you know, she can get a lot of her shots anytime she wants it. It's getting it when we want it and where we want it from. I love the kid. I just love her competitive spirit. I love how she, you know, she doesn't have a bad day now. If she has a bad moment, it's after a game and she didn't get to play as much as she wanted to. And you got to love a person like that. You got to want a competitor.
Late Starkville head baseball coach Danny Carlisle among those selected as the 2020 class of the Mississippi Coaches Hall of Fame. Carlisle led Starkville to 3 state championships while winning 571 games as head coach. Joining Carlisle in the Hall of Fame, former Mantachie head football coach Bill Ward, Anthony Jenkins, the winningest head football coach in the history of Hernando football, Don Hinton, longtime coach and current executive director of the MHSAA, and Mike Gavin, a championship-winning football coach at 5 stops, including East Central and Mississippi Gulf Coast. High school soccer playoffs continuing tonight. They began a couple games yesterday, but the big one come today. Clinton at Starkville, South Haven, Tupelo, Lewisburg, Oxford, Lafayette, New Hope, Caledonia, Ripley, at Corinth, by the way, New Albany, Pontotoc. Those are boys matchups, as well as Madison, St. Joe's, and Winona, and TCPS and Senatobia. And on the girls' side, a lot of very similar matchups as the boys. Starkville at Clinton, South Haven, Tupelo, Lewisburg, Oxford, Lafayette at Grenada, Caledonia at Corinth, New Albany and Moorville, and Madison, St. Joe's taking on Winona as well. We'll have highlights and scores coming up tonight at 10 as well. That's it for sports. The last look at your forecast next.
Some showers beginning to move into the region right now. We'll have a chance for a little bit of rain tomorrow. Dry Thursday, some showers possible Friday. Your weekend, especially Sunday, looking pretty good.
Very nice.
Looking really good. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great night.